Welcome back to another episode of Cascade Valley, still the #1 team in the nation, but our biggest test of the season, number 6 Wisconsin. I know it's crazy to say our biggest test of the season, but we've honestly played some absolute demons at Florida, at Texas A&M, at Alabama, Tennessee, USC. You know the deal. All these teams are ranked now with the exception of Texas A&M, who's not very good this year. But after just barely beating Nebraska last week, number 21 Nebraska is where they're currently ranked. Number 6 Wisconsin is coming to town, and this is going to be a tough one. Now, we've got a pretty big history against Wisconsin, playing them in the CFP, losing to them sometimes in the college football playoffs. It's been a battle, but this roster, again, is loaded. Wisconsin, one of the best teams in all of college football. I personally think we're better, though. I'm probably the most worried about DeMarco Cheeks, an absolute demon at wide receiver, pairing him with Dom Stevens, another really good wide receiver as well. And their godsend of a QB is no longer here, thank God, but we're dealing with a different demon in Bradley Myers, 84 overall, 90 speed, 96 excel, 99 agility, and 96 change of direction with very good throw power. And the guy behind him has 97 throw power, and he's just a little bit slower. At running back, they have Anthony Dumaine, 88 overall, not very fast, but the guy behind him is looking like he's got pretty good speed. And then at wide receiver behind Cheeks and Stevens, they've got Burton, they've got Keogh, they've got Alexander. They got some dogs. In their secondary, though, we're going to see an 88 overall starter, a junior, who probably goes pro after this year, but 97 speed, one of the fastest DBs in the nation. They've got Zach Berry, 84. They've got a name that I will not try to pronounce. Quincy is what we're going to call him here at this point, but 3 guys above 84 overall, all with very good speed. The rest of their guys are honestly pretty solid, so we've got our work cut out for us today. And over the top, a great free safety, a strong safety, another good one here. So this is a team that is complete from top to bottom. We've just got to have a really good game across the board. Now, in terms of the Heisman race, again, Sharif Bars leapfrog Dylan Fowler. We don't really love that, but we're here to show today why Dylan Fowler should be the #1 guy. I expect him to be a major part of this Wisconsin game, so hopefully he shows out. And from a college football playoff standpoint, the 2030 bracket is looking like this: UTEP, Auburn, Purdue, Florida, Ole Miss, Penn State, Ohio State, Wisconsin. Then in the sort of quarterfinal round, the teams that have byes: Oklahoma, Cascade Valley, Cincinnati, NC State. Let's take care of business. And this week, our only guy visiting is going to be Tony Fitzgerald, a free safety, 4-star gem. I'm really excited about this guy. Great speed and acceleration, 81 zone coverage, has house calls, a physical ability, road dog is a mental ability. I feel like this dude could challenge to be a starter, if not year 1, by year 2 if we redshirt him. So I think Fitzgerald will be an absolute demon, and I'm really hoping we can land him. At this point, I feel pretty strongly that this should be the week that actually locks him in. We're his only visit right now for a couple of weeks. He would then visit Kentucky in week 16. But I think if we play well today and win, he's coming to Cascade Valley. Look at this pregame. They're showing that man with the Heisman Trophy. It's coming to Cascade Valley. All right, maybe that trophy isn't exactly guaranteed to come to Cascade Valley, but I feel pretty good about our chances to get Dylan Fowler the Heisman Trophy, man. He deserves it. He's been an absolute demon. He's been a model of consistency. We've obviously had a couple of guys up for the Heisman. Ostergaard was one of those guys that was up for it not too long ago, but I think Fowler's going to have a big game today. But our game plan obviously is winning, but I want to make sure that Fowler gets a whole lot of touches on both the ground and the air and can absolute shine so the voters know. Give it to him. Little play action from Longa. He's going to go straight to the tight end, and that's going to do really nothing. We lose the yard. 2nd and 11. Trying to get Fowler involved. Great little dump off screen there. Longa gets it to our guy again, and he gets the first. First down, Longa. Again, feels the pressure and immediately goes down. He's got to have better awareness. Couple of options here. Longa's going to make an adjustment. They are pressing Carmazzi, which could be fun. Instead, we're going to go underneath. Look at Whiteheart get it almost a first, 3rd and short. That 3rd down, we had a screen that worked earlier. We're going right back to it here. See if we can get Fowler involved, get the big fellas in front of him, moving some piles, and we'll take that. Almost in the red zone here. Longa's going to see his guy in the sideline, and Quisenberry with a great grab. Quisenberry obviously pretty upset after last week. Had 1 grab for -2 yards, so he's hoping to get a little bit more involved in the game today. And look at Fowler. They stop him at the 2. 2nd to go. Longa's going to hand this one off. Fowler hits the edge. Nobody's going to touch him. And just like that, the big fella's in the end zone. Another rushing touchdown. I'm expecting more. Our first look at our defense today. Let's see what they can ultimately do here. Again, Wisconsin, a tough team. They like to run the football a lot, and we've got to be better prepared than that. Wisconsin's got a little bit of a wide set here. We're going to obviously watch for anything short, and they go with a run, which we don't blame them. That's the smart play there. And they just keep moving us down the field. CVU crowd is rocking right now. We're going to a little cover 0, and boom, what a hit by Jorge Slade. If Wisconsin wants to run the football the entire game, they can do that. But just know that their team's going to be battered and bruised the entirety of this game because we got some hitters on defense. Wisconsin here with a 3rd and 10. Having to rely on the passing game here. Let's see how much they're prepared. They try to go over the top. Great hits by the defense. Slade got burnt, but we stay strong. 4th and 10. Foster's going to line up to kick one deep. Carmazzi is our only guy back here. A great little seal block. Carmazzi looking for something, gets a couple of yards. Deep in our own territory, it's time to let the man, the myth, the legend get 3 yards. I think the important part for Fowler is to make sure that our passing game is just equally as respected, because right now Wisconsin's definitely keying in on, you know, our running back, which they probably should be, but we need to let them know that there's more. Last play of the first quarter here. Fowler, nice little hop skip, but again, only a yard. With as heavy as they've been kind of in some of their defensive sets, if we can just get past the second level like this, Fowler might have a chance to get big yardage, but there we only see about 14. Here in the second quarter, Fowler about 12 yards away from 50 on the afternoon. Gets a good carry here with plenty of room, cuts up the field, and he gets 7. And considering Dylan Fowler only had about 85 rushing yards last week, this is the kind of stuff we want to see from him right now. Getting involved, making them pay, and getting that yardage early. Longo's going to make a quick adjustment. Looking to have some nice separation here, and Fowler again gets what could be a first down, but there's going to be a holding penalty on the play. It's been one of the biggest issues of play Cascade Valley all season. Bob Hicks obviously shaking in his boots for now because he knows that Coach McMervin is probably going to be cursing him out as soon as his offense gets off the field one way or another. Longa, a lot of time, sees the pressure, gets it out to Demetrius Keaton, and Keaton's going to have it down about the 25. Longa out of the pistol, makes a quick adjustment, hits him with the play action. Sees his guy on the middle. It's Ostergaard for another good grab. Dean Longa having a heck of a game. And there was a lot of controversy between him and James Hester. Who would start? Who's really the right choice for this offense? But Longa against number 6 Wisconsin is 10 for 10. Fowler already with 1 touchdown today, trying to get his second one. Nice block. Fowler makes a little shake in his second rushing touchdown of the day. Dylan Fowler. Might be a career day. Wisconsin's having a really good drive right now. They have moved across to the good side of the 50. They go back to the run game, but a big stop makes it 3rd and short. Wisconsin's kicker is not great. 2-minute warning coming up. They're going to go back to the run, and their guy got some speed on that when it gets out to the edge. Wisconsin goes back to shotgun. A rare pass for them, it feels like, and it's a dot as they find their guy inside the 15. QB all by his lonesome in the backfield. We know a pass is obviously coming right now. 1:30 on the clock for Wisconsin. Deep in our territory. The QB's running. We got a couple of guys going, and he slides like a coward. Wisconsin again, chewing the clock a little bit here. They feel confident they can score. They don't want us to have a lot of time here. And their QB throws one. West Potts is having none of it. West Potts probably shouldn't be returning this one. And to the 2-yard line, we feel like he shouldn't. But what a catch. We definitely want to go for points here, but we want to try to see if we can get down out of our own territory. So we're going to use our first time out here at the 37. From the 8-yard line. We're seeing some blitzes. Oh, they left our guy open, and Ostergaard barely gets that. Hustling to get our guys back up to the line. Only a couple of seconds. Getting wasted off the clock here. Longa, though, doesn't have that speed, and we have to use a timeout again. 2nd and 13. Longa gets hit as he throws. This is tough. We find ourselves here with not a lot of time. A whole lot of pressure on our young QB. And we probably should have just ran the football. We're picking up here in the second half, and it's not as interesting as we thought it was going to be here, but Wisconsin got a chance to make something happen, and the quarterback goes down. What a hit. George Jones has just been unbelievably good for us on defense. I just feel sad that it took really until his senior year for him to pop off like this, but this dude has just been legendary. And look at Dylan Fowler. Speaking of legendary, add up the yards. Fowler already up to 84 yards and counting. His 2 rushing touchdowns. This dude is just going to keep pushing the pile. 2nd and 5. Longa, again, just has to get rid of it. I'll definitely say they've done a much better job of just sort of getting pressure on him than they have earlier in the game. It has been a little bit more dicey, but are you kidding me? Longa, what a throw down to the 30. Angelo Hartzell's going to come in, giving Fowler a breather, and look at this, a big run from him. Look, I know that we're losing Fowler, but Hartzell's been good in the limited time he's played. Fowler looking for his 3rd touchdown of the game. Right up the middle, and no one is going to touch him. This dude is ready for the Heisman. Wisconsin again past the 50. They've done a really good job of getting down the field. It just hasn't actually converted anything successful for them. And look at this, their QB running again for 3. What are they going to do here? Though they try to test Jorge Slade, and you should not be testing the transfer. This man has been a big-time player for CVU since he came here. Let the CFP vote getters know that Wisconsin full of frauds, and CVU is still that team. 2nd and 9. We're going to put Ostergaard in motion. Little play action. Little throw, and I don't know how 51 didn't see Carmazzi across the middle. Longa's going to switch sides of the run here. Doesn't really like what he's seeing from Wisconsin's defense, and it was the right call as Fowler goes for a big gain of about 15. In scoring territory again, almost. Fowler doesn't get the move he wants, but still picks up 3. 2nd and 7, hit him with the play action. Ooh, they played this underneath super well, and we actually had a guy over the top. That was a little tough because we definitely had Ostergaard deep. We just were a little late on seeing that. Longa, no shot. What a diving interception by Wisconsin. So with that, Wisconsin's right back in it, man. I mean, this is probably not what they were expecting, but They could score here and make it interesting. CVU crowd a little bit out of it, but we need them to step up right now because this team is too close for comfort. They go again with a nice little play underneath and a big hit by Sean Lewis. Slade's gonna be watching the running back on this one. Their QB, a lot of time. He's gonna run into a big fella, and I believe 57 auditioning for running back. And they do end up overturning that play, thank God, because 57 again was a large gentleman running at running back, and we could not compete with that. Their quarterback, though, is taking off again. He's a coward, and we're just trying to knock him out. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Can we get the stop here? He's tested deep in a Biamiri. That's it. We're done slandering this young man's name. Biamiri can use the locker room facilities again. He's back. So Wisconsin comes to Cascade Valley, and that man right there, Dylan Fowler. Not 1, not 2, but 3 rushing touchdowns today sealed the deal. Longo was pretty solid. He had a couple of mistakes here and there, but it's really Dylan Fowler. 24 attempts, 3 touchdowns, a $135 on the ground, and a couple in the air. Recapping the stats, Dean Longa, 15-21, a $185, no touchdowns, but an interception. Not a memorable day for him, but he still has some great passes this afternoon. Again, Fowler, you saw the stats. He cooked. Hartzell looked really good on the 1 attempt that he had, but when you got Dylan Fowler, you're not going to give it to him a ton. And then in the air, Ostergaard, 4 for 38, Fowler, 4 for 35. A couple of guys, again, spread the ball around, but just no touchdowns to show for it. And then defensively, you can kind of see who our best guy was today. Sean Lewis, always leading us in tackles is what it feels like. Jorge Slade, though, probably the most impactful. 5 tackles, 1 interception, and it was a crucial one at that. From a sack perspective, George Jones and Damian Butts, he loves a big sack, ends up getting 1 as well. Then interceptions, Slade and a Biamiri, along with West Potts getting a critical one in the end zone early in the game. Defense balled out. And the best news we might have gotten after the game is that Tony Fitzgerald is coming to Cascade Valley. The 4-star gem-free safety. We were battling a lot of teams for him, but he's going to CVU. After the big win against Wisconsin, we've now got to travel back home again to play Minnesota. So I feel pretty good about this one. Should not be as tough of a challenge. And I think we play Manny Burwell this game too. I do want to say shout out to Dylan Fowler, who with that last game eclipsed 1,000 yards for the 3rd time out of the 4 seasons he's played for us overall. And he's about 179 yards away from getting his all-time high in rushing yards, and needs 5 more touchdowns on the year to have his most rushing touchdowns in a season. It's been a great year for him. And when you're putting up stats like that, having career best years, of course you should be the #1 guy in the Heisman poll right now, which is fantastic. Now, Sharif Bars has been a dog. 4 touchdowns for him last week, over 300 yards total offense. He's been really tough, and we'll probably be battling Dylan Fowler the entire rest of the season. But Fowler is killing it. He's getting touchdowns. He's doing what he needs to do, and he has the charisma. So I think he's got the voters on his side. Now, Minnesota's only an 81 overall, so there's a pretty big gap between us and them right now. Their top guys are left guards. They've got a pretty good running back who's honestly feeling like he's going to stuff the stat sheets across the board. Their QB situation, though, Taylor Cisco, 83 overall, not very fast. Their backup, though, is definitely got a lot of speed to him. Behind Faucha, they've got Seiler, and then if you go to wide receiver, they've got a pretty slow overall #1 guy. Their guy after that's decently fast, but then there's a lot of just slowness across the board for this team between speed and acceleration. So I feel like our defensive secondary should feast, and Burwell should definitely be playing this game at QB because we should be up big. And then looking at this week as well, we've got Glenn Stamer visiting us. We're going to have Morris Diablo visiting. We don't have Oscar Howden visiting. The athlete scrambler, he'll be visiting next week. We've got Shamonik visiting a middle linebacker, and then I think that's pretty much going to be it until next week with a few other guys. So this is an important game to win and show them that Cascade Valley is the place where you want to come play. Cascade Valley back out here on offense again. Dean Longa, this should be a pretty short game for him. I expect to see Manny Burwell in the second half. A little 2nd and 5, Longa makes a little adjustments. Going to dump down here. Parizo is going to try to get that first down, and they say he's going to be shy. 3rd and 1, Minnesota's defense coming to play so far, but they got to deal with the... Okay, the front runner for the Heisman didn't get that. Coach McMervin believes in his guys, and this is a ballsy play to make early in the game in your own territory. When you got the Heisman front runner out there, you feel pretty good about yourself. And Dylan Fowler showing the voters who to vote for. Even though we are going to probably give Dean Longa just a little bit to play, I expect that Fowler's going to have the whole game in Ostergaard. What a throw by Dean Longa. And the offense kind of moving like that. We're going to see what the defense is ultimately up for doing. And if I were Minnesota, I would be a little scared, because I have not seen a throw like that in a minute. Sean Lewis kind of just seeing what he can do with his defense, getting his squad ready, and a tackle for loss on the next play is great. And Minnesota's going to the hurry up, which doesn't exactly feel like it makes a ton of sense here, but we're going to see if we can get a stop. They go with the screen and they can't even complete it. Ball's back to us. And despite how the rest of their team might have looked, the punter from Minnesota is pretty nice as he punches all the way down to the 10-yard line. So we've got our work cut out for us. And Dylan Fowler, again, another good run. Fowler's up to about 10 yards per carry right now. If he keeps that up, some records are going to be broken here for CVU. Longa back out here in the pistol is going to hand this one off to Fowler, who's got plenty of room and ankles to take. This is the CVU that we've just been expecting to see most of the season. And Longa throws that one a little bit behind Ostergaard, but it don't matter when you're that fast. Back out here in Minnesota, tries to go with a little bit of a blitz, and it does pay off. After a loss of 3, we go back out to the run. Longa's going to step up, not known for his speed, but he will show a little bit of a burst here. And young fella says, I'm not sliding. A little under 3 minutes left here so far in the first. It's been a great one. But Longa doesn't really have anywhere to throw it and decides to get rid of it. Second down, hoping to be a little bit better than the previous play. Longa again says, you know what? I'll do it myself, and picks up 5. 35 here for Longa. He's got to be pretty gassed after all this running he's been doing. And he goes down. Not a lot to really find. Minnesota does play great defense there. So Dom Vitek, who I feel like hasn't kicked a field goal in a minute, is going to line up for a pretty decently long one here with the wind in his face. And he drills that one. So props to him. He's going to get that one, and we're going to add to our lead. Now, Minnesota's having a little bit more success on this drive, which arguably they should be having. You know, any success would be more success than the last drive. Their QB continues to line up here and just go for little halfback draw plays and little hurry up offense. And I guess, to be fair, it's working because here they are in 3rd and short. Halfback screen getting dialed up. They got a couple of guys, but that one's going to go nowhere. There is a flag in the play, but honestly, we're going to decline it because despite the hold, that'll be 4th down for them. They've lost some yards. So we'll decline that for 4th and 7. That play brings us to the end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter here. And again, Longa might have 1, maybe 2 more drives in him before we see the Manny Burwell show. And that's what everybody at CVU wants to see today, along with Ostergaard making moves like that. The hype train for that QB is through the roof. He's a 5-star elite dev guy that everybody just wants to see. Is he really as good as everybody's predicting him to be? And this one was about to be a crazy catch. Fowler's going to be coming out of the backfield for a screen, but he couldn't get off the block, and that makes it 3rd and 21. 3rd and so many yards, we don't even want to talk about it. Longa just gets hit as he throws. This is not looking good. Now, Minnesota struggles a bit on offense again, so we end up getting the ball back. Second quarter again, a lot of time being wasted at this point, but Fowler is eating up yards, 73 already. I know that he needs 179 to get his most ever in a season, and I thought that would take more than 1 game, but the way he's running, it's possible in today. He's up to a 92 overall. He's been getting upgrades for himself, really putting in some work, and it just shows. Longa, though, trying to showcase the speed here. Goes for a hurdle and gets powerbombed. Longa being safe makes us pretty happy there, but we're going to go ahead and just give this one off to the man, the mental legend, Dylan Fowler. In the end zone, completely untouched. And he says, I got a little bit of a message for you voters. The Heisman post. Not a lot of time left here in the first half. 3 timeouts, though, for Minnesota, so they got to feel pretty good about that. And their QB is going to get sacked on that one, our first of the game. 2nd and 12, they're going to stay in shotgun. Their QB does seem a little bit confused with the different pressures we've been giving him. He's roaming around again, and again, sliding after only a couple. And it all comes down to this 3rd and 8. Clock is ticking. What do you got? Their QB is going to be running again. Stands up this time, coughs it up, and we are going to pick that one up. Silvestro making plays. We don't say that a lot. And ladies and gentlemen, that means just before half, the freshman that everybody's been waiting to see again, Manny Burwell, steps into the game. Burwell on the first one says, I'm going to unleash the cannon. It's a little delayed. Underthrown is not something he does. Not a lot of time left, 35 seconds. So again, we do want to unleash the ball down the field some. Jesus, Burwell is throwing another one. It's a little delayed. And again, we've seen that he's got to get rid of that ball a little bit sooner because when he doesn't, it's slightly underthrown, but he's got a great arm. We pick up here in the 3rd quarter. Burwell's going to have this offense kind of deep in their own territory after Minnesota punted us again. Their punter is their best player. Putting Burwell in kind of a pressure situation. But he is just finding a wide open Parizo who is down the sideline with a man to beat. And they drag him down to 35. What a throw and catch. 1st and 10, little check here. Oh, he's got a man open. Over the top, it's Carmazzi. And we're getting flashbacks to last season. Enrique Carmazzi. Do you believe? The Heisman. Well, again, this feels like his first game where he comes out, throws the interception, and then he just throws a dot for a touchdown. It feels very reminiscent to that. And then he just hit a man off the helmet after there's a penalty on Bob Hicks. Of course it's on Bob Hicks. Your scholarship is gone. We're done. Pack your bags. The biggest thing we want to find out with Burwell, though, is can he find his guys kind of in stride? That's been his biggest issue, I'd say, overall. But there truly doesn't seem like there's many issues outside of that really with him. Like, he is able to just unleash unbelievable arm strength and make guys pay. And him and Ostergaard next year, plus the guys we have coming in, good Lord. I'm sure there are some people that are also asking, well, why aren't you starting Manny Burwell if you're such a big believer in what he is? If we redshirt him this season, when we already have a more than capable QB, that just makes next season even better because he'll be a redshirt freshman with all 4 years of eligibility. And that means we have a chance to have him at a higher overall than what he is right now with some additional abilities outside of step up that he already has. And I like that chance a lot. Here in second and goal, we're going right back to Dylan Fowler. Fowler cutting up a little bit and they stop him at the 1. Fowler again, only with 1 rushing touchdown so far. We kind of, went a little crazy with Burwell show and Fowler says, don't forget, I'm the Heisman. We know. Now, Minnesota, despite me down 31-0, says, you know what? We're going to run the football. Interesting decision. A little over 6 minutes left. They're going to put a guy in motion. They tried to trick us, and honestly, it kind of worked, but then that running back just didn't know where he was going. 3rd and 7, the CVU fans are just waiting to see more Manny Burwell right now, and they are not going to get it on this drive, but they will get it on the next one. In 4th and 5, this is pretty much all she wrote right now for Minnesota, and they test us deep, and that was nearly a pick. Coach McMervin has this prolific offense back on the field, ready to try to make a little something happen. Burwell showing a little bit of escapability here. Not a fan of that speed, but he does get fine. It's also interesting to note that Burwell has a couple of skill caps that could be upgraded. Quickness, speed being one of them. So we could see this man at some point. Oh my God, sir. That was almost crazy. But what I was saying is that we could see Burwell increase those skill caps a little bit and just be that guy, which would be pretty incredible. Hits him with the play action. On the run. Are you kidding me? There's no way that would have been nuts. Now, Minnesota does end up getting a little touchdown, a little rinky-dink touchdown, which we don't care about. But they go for the onside kick. We obviously recover. And now we've got a chance to try to get some more points on the board. And I would say it's mostly just really fun just to have games like this so we can see just how talented our guys actually are. Oh, my God. Great play by the safety. 3rd and 10. Oh my God, we got absolutely boxed. Coach McMervin, though, was going to go for here, a little 4th and 10. See what his guys got. Little wide set for Minnesota. He's going to test the arm strength. We see it. Burwell's stat line's been pretty crazy. We've been testing the defense deep a lot. He's 5 for 13 for like a $180 something. It is absolutely nasty. You can drop it in the bucket like that. I'm telling you, the true freshman, with a couple of upgrades here and there, he could win Heisman as a redshirt freshman next year. We do get the ball back with 1:40 seconds left, and brother, you can believe we're going to throw an incomplete pass. Burwell again, just trying to get those reps in. We don't know how much he's going to obviously get to play the remainder of the season. We would love to use all of his eligibility up this year, all 4 games, but you never know what's going to happen. I do want to get Dylan Fowler involved a little bit here because, again, we need to get his stats padded up some. He's been good, not super great, but he's definitely been good. Again, the play, we're going to try to get Fowler involved here. Is a nice little halfback screen. Burwell looked like he was pretty comfortable with that setup there. We get about 7. Ooh, the defense is pressed up right now. Carmazzi and Quisenberry, not with any really safety help here. Over the top. Cannon of an arm, and Carmazzi can't get it. Whitehart, Quisenberry on the edge. We're actually going to put a deep cross setup for Ostergaard to kind of see what they have. Oh, we saw that. Shout out to Sierra. Let me see 1-2 step. Quisenberry in the end zone. That's going to do it for Manny Burwell. The interception, and then a whole lot of touchdowns after that. The future's looking good in CVU. So the Dylan Fowler, Manny Burwell game absolutely happens, and we are excited about it. We've seen Burwell twice, and I think it's going to be very difficult not to play him anymore this season. He is unbelievable. We hope he doesn't get injured, but he gets player of the game despite not playing until the end of the second quarter. Don't look at the completion percentage. So Manny Burwell, again, you saw the stat line, plays incredible. He threw an interception and said, okay, now they feel good. Let me go ahead and ball out. Longa, 5 for 8, 101, and a touchdown again. Very good in the limited time that he played. On the ground, Fowler, 17 for 89, 2 touchdowns. I wish we gave him more yards, but I also am happy that we kept him healthy because we're going to need him healthy as we go into the conference championship. And then in the receiving side, Ostergaard, I mean, you see what happens when he's getting the ball deep down the field. 6 for 177 and a touchdown. Parizo had 84. Quisenberry gets 2 touchdowns on 2 grabs, and Carmazzi turned back the clock and got himself a touchdown as well. And then defensively, Sean Lewis leading us in tackles again. The story is always the same with him. 9 tackles, 2 for a loss. From a sack perspective, only 1. David Wenning, the true freshman, gets in there and gets himself a sack today. And then interceptions, Abiyamiri, You can't slander that man's good name anymore. He has really become a good player in his junior season. More good news for CVU after that game. Glenn Stamer says, I would like to go block for Manny Burwell, and I think half the nation would too. Morris Diablo said he would also like to block for him. And Oscar Howden is coming to Cascade Valley despite seeing that gem of a prospect, Manny Burwell, throw dime after dime. So we'll see what happens. Oscar Howden's interesting. I don't know if he'll ever be a starter here, but he could be serviceable at some point. And again, not to go crazy about Manny Burwell, but when you look at what we have coming in next year, we've already got some demons at wide receiver. Ostergaard is going to be even better next year. We've got Dorsey coming in, a 6'4", 200-pound receiver, 93 speed, 94 excel. He's got gold best friend. He has platinum road dog. He has silver shifty. He's going to be incredible. And then Matt Hayer is 6'6", 200 pounds, 50-50, sure hands, balance, all bronze already. Fan favorite, natural team player, 87 release, 92 speed, 98 jumping, 91 excel. These are two generational receivers that we got. Both are 5-stars, by the way, that are coming into town to play next year. They're probably both starting because Manny Burwell is going to be throwing to him all the game long. Now, something we noticed is that Dylan Fowler, even though he had a really good game in the previous week, we had a bye week last week, he still didn't get the recognition that he should. He actually falls down Sharif Bars, then maintains the #1 spot, but he loses against #2 Florida and doesn't have that great of a game. 3 touchdowns, but they lose. Florida's QB now is popping up a lot. Barry B, another senior, 4 touchdowns for him. Fowler is going to have to show out the rest of the season. He is in second place. He wants to win that Heisman. He's so close to doing it, but he's got a whole lot of competition. As for us, we're still getting the recognition that we absolutely deserve. A lot of teams have moved around in the 2030 college football playoff, but the most important thing is we are still the #1 spot with the #1 seed, and I don't care who we play. I like our chances. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.